Gentleman from Illinois is recognized.
I thank my friend from New Jersey, and I rise in strong support of House Resolution 611 supporting the goals and the ideals of Fragile X Awareness Day. Madam Speaker, with 100,000 Americans affected and 1 million more at risk, Fragile X syndrome is the most commonly inherited cause of mental impairment and autism. However, Fragile X syndrome still remains a largely unknown disorder and often misdiagnosed. Tomorrow, July 22nd, families, patients, and advocates will take part in the 10th Annual National Fragile X Awareness Day. Thanks to the efforts of the National Fragile X Foundation to unite the Fragile X community on Thursday, advocates all across the country will hold events and fundraisers in their cities and communities to raise awareness about this condition. Madam Speaker, National Fragile X Awareness Day is an opportunity to educate the public as well as the medical profession about this disease. Increased awareness about this little-known disease can significantly reduce the incidence of Fragile X and lead to quicker diagnosis for families dealing with the disease. Growing awareness of this condition is also critical to securing additional research funding to create tomorrow's scientific breakthroughs to treat and ultimately cure Fragile X. I introduced this resolution not only to support the goals and the ideals of Fragile X Awareness Day, but also to recognize Fragile X advocates who work tirelessly to increase the awareness. Together, their voice is an invaluable part of promoting public consciousness about Fragile X syndrome, and it is because of their commitment we are closer to finding a cure. Madam Speaker, I first learned of the Fragile X syndrome as I was leaving the floor and walking back to my congressional office. I looked at my schedule and I saw I had a group of constituents that wanted to talk to me about Fragile X. I had no idea what Fragile X was, and on my way to my office I kept trying to think, what could this be? I had the opportunity to meet Holly Roos and other parents, and Holly told me about her son and her daughter's battle with Fragile X, and the family shared stories and photos, and it motivated me to get involved. I started by participating in my first Fragile X walk in Canton, Illinois 3 years ago. And 3 walks later, I am as committed today as I was then to work to find a cure. Because of Holly, Parker, Allison, and all the people affected by Fragile X, I was inspired to establish the Fragile X Caucus along with Congressman Delahunt and my friend Congressman Harper. The caucus is growing. We're educating more members daily about Fragile X. And we've also successfully fought for more research funding for Fragile X at the National Institute of Health and the Department of Defense. We organized the first congressional briefing on Fragile X. We released a public service announcement, and we continue to make finding a cure for Fragile X syndrome a national priority. I proudly serve on the caucus with 2 of the most dedicated members of Congress to the Fragile X cause. The co-chairman, Greg Harper, the parent of a child who have had the opportunity to meet. What a wonderful young man. How proud you are of him. His engaging smile and his willingness to come and to tour and be with his father, and you can see the love between them, and what a wonderful and special young man this is. And for 15 years, our friend, Chairman Bill Delahunt, has advocated on behalf of the Fragile X community, and we will certainly miss his leadership on the caucus upon his retirement. But there's an old saying, you think this is the end, Mr. Delahunt. For you, this is only the beginning. We're going to be asking more of you because Mr. Delahunt's going to have more time to spend with us. Madam Speaker, Congress has an important role in raising awareness of Fragile X syndrome. It's my hope that this resolution and the efforts of the Fragile X Caucus will provide greater awareness of Fragile X, and I urge all of my colleagues to vote in support of House Resolution 611. I want to thank Chairman Waxman and Chairman Pallone for working with me to bring House Resolution 611 to the floor on the eve of Fragile X Awareness Day. I thank you, Madam Speaker, and I yield back the balance of my time.